Is my voice clear enough? Guys, I wanted to ask you something. Is my voice clear enough?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
clear.
Okay. Good evening,
Good evening.
everybody. Which actually sounds okay. We will discuss the
Hello.
now in the side of the mainland, so the connection is not that good. Hello,
Hello.
Mr. Indra.
Can I just changed my connection? Is it clearer now?
Okay,
Okay. Okay, I think it's clear.
it's okay now. It's clear now,
All
and
right.
I think maybe
Keep
we
going.
gotta get to the slides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to share your own screen, Yusuf?
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
were
yeah.
going to be sharing my screen. Wait a minute.
No,
Uh,
no, yeah. That's why I was asking you to try to show
okay,
your own
wait.
screen before.
I'm sorry, guys. There is miscommunication here.
Sorry, also from me.
Okay, wait. Um, wait. Okay, is the slides popping out?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we are going to discuss and debunking the myths of Israel and Palestine conflicts. And why is this important to discuss? As we all know, the conflict between the Israel and Palestinian has been happening for like more more or less in 75 years. But how can this conflict uprising again and then coming up to the surface again? It's because um, there is unpredictable attack coming from Hamas to Israel, and it's happening on October 7, 2023, and it's killing more than 1,200 people, and taking about the Hamas is taking about 240 hostages. And after that unpredictable attack, it's actually lit up the anger of Netanyahu as the prime minister of the Israel, and they do the counterattack up until today, and it's killing more than 15,000 Palestinians in Gaza since the war, not the war, since the attack happening on October 7th. But in Israel, the official death toll stands at about 1,200. And I think these things is matter to discuss because the unusual data and the unmatched data between uh, the data that popped up in the news all over the world and the data that Israeli official has stated is actually different. And I think maybe most of us has been known that there are many myths or many you know un you know unusual event or unusual data and unusual things that are happening and surrounding the conflict between the Israel and Palestine. And that's why I think we had to discuss it. And I think we got to go down to the first statement. And this is about the Israel has the rights to defend itself. The unpredictable attack that are coming to Israel on October 7, 2023, has actually make a new justification for Israel to counterattack the Palestine in Gaza, and they have the reason. They always stated the reason that Israel has the right to defend itself because the attack is actually coming from the Hamas first. It's not coming from the Israel first. But this statement is actually unmatched, or maybe we got it. We hear it like it's unusual statement because they did say this statement without thinking about the conflict that has happened for more or less 75 years. And in that time, 75 years conflict between the Palestinian and Israel was actually killed a lot of people, millions of Palestinian peoples. But today, or maybe the conflict that has uprising the recent months, stated that Israel has the right to defend itself. And it was actually backed up by the statement that has been stated by the US President Joe Biden that says Israel has the right to defend and must protect their civilians. And Israel Defense Forces warplanes have been carrying out strikes across Gaza, while its troops have been moving through the north of the territory. And Prime Minister Netanyahu has said Israel has a clear goal of destroying Hamas military and governing capabilities, as well as freeing the hostage. And he has also declared that Israel will have overall security responsibility for Gaza Strip for an indefinite period after the conflict. And regarding to this statement, I want to know what you guys thinking. I want to know each and every one of you how are you thinking about this? What are you thinking about this? And I encourage each and every one of you to speak up your opinion, or maybe you have like a question to ask. Just raise your hand and using the feature of raise hand, and then I will let you and I will invite you to give your opinion. Hello, guys. Is there anyone who wants to volunteer? Okay. The server Anga itself. Okay, let's go for the first speaker. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to begin by saying that this is a myth, because for me, Israel is an occupier. They've been colonizing the Palestinians for ages, for 75 years, since 1948, especially. So, as an occupier, So they are actually in an offensive position, in an offensive posture. So not like a defensive one. So for me, that's the reason why when they say that Israel has rights to defend itself, what I feel is that they actually are attacking Palestinians, like taking over more Palestinian rights and even lives. Right, as you mentioned earlier, they've been killing by their bombs and etc. Like more than 1,500. 15,000 Palestinians, and half of them are children. So that's what I'm thinking when I'm hearing the sentence, a sentence, Israel has rights to defend itself. And actually, so another thing that I want to mention is that this is often like starting the conversation from the middle, not from the beginning, right? Because this conflict has actually started since long time ago, decades, like 78 years. So when you're talking about Israel and Palestine from the events of 7th October, you actually started the conversation from the middle.
Yeah.
You're not talking about like why Hamas attacked Israel and why Palestinians are resisting, etc., etc. So when you want to understand the problem, you need to start from the beginning, or from the roots of the causes. So now you know the solution. So that's what I'm thinking.
That's an interesting point.
Okay.
Knowing that this statement means that you starting conversation from the middle, not from the roots. Okay. That would be a question. Not a question. It would be like a quote of the day today. Okay. Any other perspective or opinion regarding this statement? Anyone?
You might point someone to speak up. Maybe they're just
Okay.
shy.
Okay. I think I'm going to point out somebody here. Hello, Gamze. Are you there?
Hello, I'm here.
Hello. Okay. I heard earlier about your conversation with Mr. Anga. You are from Turkey and you are Turkish.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you know about this discussion?
Sorry.
How do you know about this discussion tonight? Like how,
Uh,
like from your friends or something?
from my friends.
Oh, is those
Now,
friends
now
here?
I'm in.
No?
Actually, she was here, but she left.
Mm, okay. Okay, back to the topic. Regarding this statement, how do you think about this? What do you think about it? The Israel has the rights to defend itself. Is that possible? Is that the fact or the myth, or maybe is that even make sense? The floor is yours, Gamze.
Actually, if children's die is not a defense, I think. Sorry, I'm just say this.
Okay.
I'm a little sorry.
No, it's okay. Little you can, little I can. That's most of us Indonesian learn English. Little you can, little I can. And yeah, that's your statement about if the children dies, the innocent people dies because of the conflict, it's not defending. Is that right,
Yes.
Gamze? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not
Yes.
defending, it's offensive. It's offensive thing, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kamze. Okay, let's move on to another speaker, Miss Nurhaliza. Are you there?
Yes, Nurliza.
Oh, Nurliza. It's not Nurhaliza.
Nurhaliza.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm the
I think
singer.
that's an artist's name.
It's not the singer
Okay.
name. Okay, Miss
Mm,
Nurhaliza, how do you think about this statement? How do you think about the Israel has the rights to defend itself? How do you think about it?
okay. Right. For this statement, I suppose is a myth, because I heard from Palestinian civil, I mean Indonesia, that Indonesian who live in Gaza, and they are already in Indonesia now. Maybe you already heard Bang Onim.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard them.
I'm really interesting to hear his YouTube and podcast. He always said before 7 October in 2023, Israel has has done. I mean, Israel did several what I have to say. Israel did several
Things. Just say things.
things. No, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so confused. Israel did several things that to such as they took Gaza's civil Gaza's homes, and they always what I have to say, they always send bombardier such as phosphorus.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I think Palestinian already update about it, and Israel cannot deny it, because we can see on the internet now the data such as video and photos before 7 October.
Okay. Is that it? Or any other opinion? No?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was actually a nice information. You guys, if you wanted to hear about the interview that Miss Nurliza has offered in the table, is that Bang Onim? Is that right? The interview about Bang
Yes.
Onim. Yeah. Bang Onim, a person who used to live in Gaza, and he maybe witnessed more more things that are happening before October 7, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
For each and every one of you guys, if you wanted to literally knowing about the new fact, or maybe the new information regarding what is happening to the Palestinian before 7 of October, you can watch the interview on YouTube or any other social media actually. Okay, thank you, Ms. Nurliza, for presenting your opinion. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, the Israel has no rights about the okay. The Israel has no right to defend themselves. Okay, that's what the most people in this room has been saying, and this is the data or maybe the fact that I can present to you. There is a journalist or maybe the UN people named Francesca Albanese, who was appointed in the post in the May of 2022 for a 3-year term, also believed that Israel's military response to the multi-pronged attack by Hamas on October 7 has gone beyond simply defending its own territory and its own citizens. And she said that the right to self-defense that Israel has invoked under Article 51 of the UN Charter is quite clear. It entitles a state to repel an attack that comes from another state. So the action necessary to repel the attack must be based on its intensity and scope, and it must be proportional. And then she added more, there is jurisprudence of the International Court of Justice that says the self-defense cannot apply in a context of military occupation when, in this case, Israel is occupying another state, another people. And explaining the context of proportional response, she said that in 24, 30 hours, Israel had regained control of its territory. So as of then, the right of self-defense in its own territory, its self-defense is to be applied, was exhausted. And she added more, does it mean that Israel had to passively leave after what Hamas had inflicted? No. As I said, the protection of Israeli citizens has to be ensured, and the military presence of Hamas had to be repelled, which was done. So actually, the right to defend itself and regarding to the Article 51 of the UN Charter, there are several reasons to be fulfilled to declare that they have the rights to defend themselves, which is within the 24 to 30 hours, if they regained their power or regained their control of their territory, then it was done. Then it was no longer regulated the statement about the Israel and has the right to defend themselves. Okay, let's move on to the next statement that says the conflict between Palestinian and Israel is actually all about the religion. And yeah, as we all know, especially Indonesian who grew up with more of a religion point of view, we oftenly told about the story of, if Palestinian lose the war of the Israel, the end of the world, the apocalypse would appear, and the Israel is occupying the Palestine because they about to building the castle of Messiah and everything, etc. and so on. And I want to know about you guys' opinion regarding this statement. Anyone who would raise their hands? The floor are yours. Anybody? Okay, I think it's start. Okay, Miss Farah. Hello, Miss Farah.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Miss Farah. Where you come from?
Central Java.
Central Java.
Yes.
Specifically, which city in Central Java?
Now I live in Purwokerto.
Oh, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Vera, what are your opinion about the statement that the conflict between Palestine and Israel is all about religion?
Oh, I clearly disagree with this statement that, as we already know, with all of the information spreading across the social media, the conflict is clearly not about religion. In fact, that in Gaza itself, the church is being bombed by Israel, and that clearly show it's not about religion at all. And I believe that's more something big, more than just religion. If it is about, I mean, the things or the circumstances that happening right there. And I think it's, if people still think about religion, it's not about it anymore, because what the Israel doing right now is an apartheid things, and it is a genocide, which is give a really bad impact. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I thought about it. It's not about religion. It's already about colonization. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your opinion.
Thank
Any
you.
other who wants to talk about their opinion, or maybe do you guys have a question? Or maybe I have to point out somebody in this room again. Okay, Vera. Okay. Okay. Hi, Mr. Reski. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hello, Mr.
But
Reski.
yeah,
May I ask where you come from?
I'm from Bekasi,
Oh, Bekasi City.
Bekasi Regency.
Bekasi Regency. Oh yeah, I forgot there is Bekasi Regency in Bekasi City. Okay.
Yes.
What are your opinion about
Yep.
the statement that that said the conflict between Palestine and Israel is all about religion?
It's all about religion. I think agree. In my opinion, the conflict is all about religion. I just look at some people. Based on some people said about this conflict from religion, and another it's not. It's like just a society group in the religion. The one of because in the religion any like society group in bahasa aliran or kelompok-kelompok tertentu, and then they have the faith of the faith of the faith in the religion about what they want to do in this conflict. Yeah, maybe we know in this case we know in the Palestinian there is the land of Jerusalem, and that there are the three religion over there, like Jews, Christian, and Islam. And then this is we know that the Jews have um, how to say in this have in that kitab in the kitab like the in bahasa tanah yang dijanjikan ya, and then they believe about that, so that's why born like Zionism, Zionism pergerakan gitu, dan yeah, just it from me. I think like that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Reski is actually agree that about this statement about the conflict is all about religion. Okay. Mr. Ranga, the floor is yours.
Thank you for bringing up this interesting point, which is, I think, a very big issue, even in our country, Indonesia. Many people are giving their solidarity to Israel on the basis of religion. So I've got 3 points that I want to convey. First, so Zionism is not the same as Judaism. So Judaism is the religion, one of the big religions in the world. There are a lot of like Judaism followers in the world. I think it was like one of the biggest religions in the past. I think Judaism. So why I say this, because many Judaisms, particularly in Europe and also in America, they also hate Zionism. They also hate the Israel ideology. Even in every solidarity to Palestine, they always involve like in solidarity with Palestine, and they often criticize the idea of the Zionism because they believe that giving a land to people who were oppressed in the past, uh, which is a Palestine, or which is the Israel today, is not actually taken properly from the Holy Book. So this is the idea of colonizer, because in order for you to liberate yourself, you need to establish this a state on the land in the lands of Palestine, which were actually occupied before by the Palestinians. And by establishing a country there, you're displacing like indigenous populations which are who are Palestinians at the moment who have been displaced by the Israel. So this is actually the idea of colonialism, not the idea of religion.
Yeah.
So that's so I'm just quoting what they have been saying. The Judaism, what the Jewish people say in Australia, in America, in Europe, when they're giving solidarity to Palestine. So this is not equals to Judaism. That's the first point. So it's not about Judaism. It's actually Zionism, which is a colonizer, colonist ideas.
Okay.
Secondly, the second point is that when giving solidarity to Palestine, when liberating Palestine, you're not actually liberating the Muslims only. You're actually liberating many people, many groups, not only Muslim but also Christians, and also even Jews themselves who have been living in Palestine for so long. In the past, before the state of Israel, there were many groups existing there, not only Muslims but also Jews, particularly, and Christians. That's the second one. The last point is there are many groups in the world that have been giving solidarity to Palestine who are not only Muslims but
Yeah.
also Christians, Hindus, in Australia. I'm in Australia at the moment, and even atheists they've been supporting Palestine. They're like they are a very big supporter of Palestinian. Even in Melbourne, now I'm in Melbourne. There are more than like 10,000 people giving their solidarity. You can imagine, like white people, black people, colored people turning to the streets for supporting the Palestinians, and it's like very lovely rally solidarity. And compared to this, there's also like a Zionist movement here in
Yeah.
Australia, who are very how to say, exclusive. They're mostly white people who are quite fascist in my opinion when they give the solidarity to Israel, because they don't allow us to. So yeah, those are 3 points that I can convey to debunk this myth that the conflict is all about religion.
Okay, thank you for the information about there are several groups, and yeah, it's the Jews is not only the Jewish people. Uh there are people that are join the group like the Judaism and the Zionism, and the Zionism is actually, yeah, as you said, or maybe you guys can research it more so that you can be more what is it called, more certain to specific information about that the idea of colonization is not properly taken from the Bible and etc. And yeah, thank you for the information. And any other opinion regarding this statement? Anyone? Just raise your hand, use the raise your hand button, and then I will give the floor to you. Anyone? One more before we moved to another slide. Okay,
You
I
might
think I
point out.
have, yeah, I think I have to point out. Um, Lailaturahmi. Hello, Miss Lailaturahmi, are you there? Miss Lailaturahmi, are you there? I think he has the problem with the connection. Or maybe Mr. Andre, are you there? Hello, Mr. Andre. Okay, maybe he has the same problem with the connection. And I think maybe we can move on to the next slide about the information that I what is it called, collected. As much as I know about this conflict and about this statement that stated the conflict between the Palestinian and the Israel is all about religion, I do not agree with this. I think it's a myth, because it is true that the Israelis are mostly Jewish and the Palestinians are mostly Muslim, but religion is pretty low on the list of direct drivers of the conflict. This is not, despite what your grade school teacher may have suggested, a clash between Judaism and Islam over religious differences. It is a clash between nationalities, Israel and Palestinian, over secular issues of land and nationhood. As we can see here, the map of coming from the 1947 to the present today. The green one is actually Palestinian, the land of the Palestinian, and the white one is the land of the Israeli. And over the years, it's been showed, and it showed like crystal clearly that the Israel is most likely occupying the Palestinian. They even got the map. They even erased the Palestinian from the world map, as you all know. And yeah, it is actually the issues of the land and the nationhood. And then secondly, as what Mr. Anga has stated about the Zionism, actually the people who are created and encouraged and organized mass Jewish migration to the Middle Eastern, to what we now call Israel, in the late 1800s to the early 1900s, were actually most of them are secular Jewish, not all Jews, like secular Jewish people who encouraged and organized the migration. Their movement, which is called the Zionism, treated Jews primarily as a nationality, like the French or Chinese, in addition to a religious group. While a number of Israelis are religiously observant, especially on the political right, the larger movement that created Israel was and remained primarily secular. And then the next things that mostly pushed people's opinion about the religion is the idea of jihad and its relation with the terrorism. Yes, as we all know, in this world, people sees the jihad idea as the terrorism idea. Jihad equals terrorism. Jihad is actually, it is true that it is the movement that were initialized by the Muslims, but it is not all Muslims are, what is it called? It is true that more recent groups such as Hamas, which formed in 1987, espouse Islamic and Islamism, but beneath their language of jihad, in significant part, the same nationalist drive of previous group. Okay, one more point, Mr. Angga. And then the last thing is about the holy place, Jerusalem. Lots of people gave their opinion, such as our speaker earlier, Mr. Reski, about that he's agreeing that Jerusalem is a place of holies. we never know about the truth. We never really understand about this actually story or maybe historical story, but it is actually not the religious issue and not only about the holy place. It's more of a political issue than the religious issue in practice. Yeah, that's my explanation towards the statement that the conflict is all about religion. Mr. Anga, what do you have to say about this? Or maybe
No,
you have any.
thank you, Yusuf, for your time. I'm just gonna ask something related to this information, and this information is like very useful information, but this information is like um, you know very uncommon, like to discuss, particularly in our country, Indonesia. And my question is that how and why do people in Indonesia always uh, link these discussions to religious issues? And how can we move away the discourse, the discourse, from the religions to colonialism when talking about Palestine?
Okay, thank you for that amazing question. Anyone in this room who wants to give their opinion to that question, or maybe uh, giving their perspective into this question? Why why does people in Indonesia tend to connect the issue and the religious things, and how do we move the narration from the religion to the political things? Anyone? Okay, maybe I have to point out again somebody in this room. Sam. Hello, Sam. Are you there?
Hello, Mr.
Hello, Mr. Sam. First of all, may I ask where are you come from?
Okay, I come from Kalongan City, Central
Okay, from
Java, Mr.
Central Java. Okay. Okay, Mr. Sam. Mr. Angga asked the question earlier about why do Indonesian people tend to connect the issue with the religion things, and how do we move away or try to move away the narration about the conflict from the religion to the political. The floor is yours, Mr. Sam.
I'm sorry. Maybe I don't really know about that issues. Um, Maybe it's just my opinion because Indonesian people often hear about historical Islamic of Palestine and Israel maybe. So Indonesian people have perspective like this.
Okay.
I don't really know about that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your
It's so informative,
opportunity.
and it's great
Okay,
opinion of yours. Thank you so much. Any other? Okay,
my
Mr.
pleasure.
Andre. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Mr. Andre, the floor is
My
yours.
pleasure,
Let me
Mr.
go. Yeah. Hello, Mr.
Okay,
Andre.
hi.
Hi.
Is
Okay, the
my
floor is
voice
yours.
clear?
Yeah, it's clear. It is really clear.
Okay. I'm Andre from Samarinda, is
Okay.
Kalimantan. Yeah. May I ask the questions
Okay,
before?
the question is, why do Indonesian people tend to connect the issue between Palestinian and Israel with the religion things? And how do we move away the narration from the religion to politics?
About that, in my perspective, it's because Indonesian people see it as the religion's operations, like in the news, mostly we see Muslim Palestinian who are Muslim oppressed when they're doing like pray or something. And as we know, our people in Indonesia like they concerned about that, so about the operation of the religions. And right now we see how the Israeli did to the Palestinian and try to get rid of them from their land. And yeah, it's and try to move them to if I'm not mistaken, to the south of Gaza. Yeah. And yeah, that's also about the political thing that make it to the political thing, and that's my perspective. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that information and the perspective of yours. Any other? Thank you, Mr. Andre. Any other perspective or
My
opinion?
pleasure.
Okay, Miss Farah. Let's go, Miss Farah. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Actually, it's not that I want to really want to answer the questions about why a lot of Indonesian have that kind of things in their mind. I mean, like, I think that's such a like a stereotype things that already spread around our country, that this
Okay.
is about religion, what's happening in Palestine. And I think it's more like the prejudice among our peoples, that come to their mind because, like, as we know, the majority of Palestinian people is Muslim, and the majority of Israeli are Jews. So that's why it brings them to state that this is the conflict is about religion. I mean, I think it's okay when they think it's about religion. I mean, like, but I think the more things that important about it's about our view. It's okay if we want to like show our solidarity with our religion, but we should know like which is the bad and which one
Yeah.
is the bad one and which one is the good one. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Farah. So, Miss Farah has said that it is a prejudice from people, from general people who judged this conflict based on the most population in both countries, which is the Muslim and the Jews. And then actually, I got a good point from the Miss Farah that said it is actually a good thing to give the Palestinian help, such as from the healthcare and everything that we send last recently we sent three something million to the Palestinian. It is a good thing, but it would be great if we know about the core and the root of the conflict. Right. Okay. Mr. Anga, let's go.
Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity given to me. Yeah, I agree with the statements said by the previous speakers. Yeah, it's clearly because of Muslim brotherhoods, right? Most of Palestinians are Muslims, while most of Indonesians are Muslim too. However, this uh, this solidarity on the basis of religion tends to be like dangerous in a way, in my opinion, because it tends to cover first of all the diversities in Palestinians. First, because not Palestinians are Muslims, and secondly, it also tend to hide the the how to say there's not the situations. It tends to hide the things that have been done by the Palestinian authorities, who are unfortunately also Muslims. You know what? The
Yeah.
Palestinian Authority like has been like very uncritical to Israel for ages. They're like many people in Australia say that they're like a puppet of the Israeli government, because they tend to like reduce the resistance from the Palestinians, because they think that okay, you can just uh, trust it to me. I can convey what you want to say to the Israel or to the US or to the international communities. So yeah, in my opinion, it tends to cover the bad things that have been done by the Palestinian Authority, and also Arab countries that uh, have been also doing a bad things to their community. So yeah, that's my opinion. It tends to make us uncritical to the the class basis in Israel, and also cover the diversity in Palestinians. And the second point is how can we move away this conversation from the religious thing to the political things, which is about colonialism. The answer is simple for me, because as Indonesians, historically, we've shared similar operations. Right? We have shared similar struggles,
Yeah.
because we were also colonized, right, in the past by the colonizer from the Dutch. So when we're talking about colonialism, when we're talking about operations experienced by the Palestinians, we are also talking about our history, which have been established by the process of colonialism. So that's a simple thing. So even Sukarno said that our freedom is not complete, it's incomplete when we don't give a support to Palestine. So I forget really the quote, but Sukarno said the solidarity on the basis of colonialism, on the basis of international solidarity. And Nelson Mandela also said that. So our freedom is incomplete if Palestinians is still being occupied by the Israel. So yeah, that's also a statement clearly saying that I mean the statement that the solidarity should be given on the basis of this international solidarity, which is a political thing. Thank you.
Okay. That's a nice and statement from Mr. Angga, and I think yeah, that also maybe the agenda maybe from the colonized countries for the solidarity to free the Palestine. And I think I also might want to add some information maybe how do we move away the narrative from the religion to politician. I think maybe this is also something that have to do with the media, because I oftenly saw about the TikTok videos and everything that tend to connect the Israel movement with the religion uh, related stories. And I think that's the media is actually the easiest way for people to influence other people to be and to understand their perspective. And I think that's the thing. Be wise to your social media and yeah, share the truth. Okay, thank you so much for every statement and every opinion that has been given. We gotta move away from this statement to another new statement. Number 3, the statement is Israel is the plucky David fighting the Arab Goliath. How do you think about this? Because yeah, this is actually the story the story that we oftenly heard when we were little, because the Israel who is actually a Jewish countries. Yeah, most people said that because they have the most populated Jewish people in their countries, and then they are moving to the Arab land, the Middle Eastern, and then yeah, they have to fight for their life in there because there are lots of Arab countries and they hold more power because they have more population there. And how do we think about this? Anyone wanted to give out shed the opinion? Or maybe I think I have to point out a new one to state about their opinion. Miss Nurliza, it's been a while from point 1 to point 3. I think it is the time for you to maybe give your opinion to us. Miss Nurliza, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know what's your opinion about Israel is the plucky David fighting the Arab Goliath.
Arab, what is Arab Goliath? Sorry.
So there is a story, the history actually, that most likely surrounding the Israeli people. So this is the story of Nabi Daud, if I'm not mistaken, fighting with the giant named Goliath. So the Israeli tend to think of Israel is actually the David, which is Nabi Daud, who fight with the Goliath. The Goliath is like the giant, superpower giant, which referred to the Arab countries in the Middle East there. You get it? I hope you get it.
Okay.
Okay. What is your
Um,
opinion about that?
Actually, I don't know about Arab Goliath. This is the first time that I heard about it. But I suppose that Israel just one of the American to attack Palestinian, and Israel has announced their statement about Israel country maps, and their maps is more than now that we know, and they want to take more. I mean, they want to take Arab land also. Yeah, then that's from me.
Okay. Thank you so much, Miss Nurliza, for the opinion about this. Any other one? Any other people in this room who wants to give out their opinion or maybe have a question about this statement? I may have to point out another participant. Miss Laila Turahmi, are you there? Miss Laila Turahmi. Okay. So nobody wants to give out their opinion about this? Then maybe we should continue to the slide with the information that I collected. This is actually a mythology between the David fighting the Goliath. It is a Zionist mythology. They often cast the Israel-Palestine conflict as a centuries-old religious conflict between Jews and Palestinian Arabs. This is a historical fiction, you guys. The reality is a settler colonial conflict, which emerged only in the early 20th century. Zionism, the ideology foundation on which the Israeli state is built, emerged in the late 19th century in reaction to European anti-Semitism and waves of anti-Jewish pogroms. Reacting to the persecution faced by Jews in the Austro-Hungarian and Russian empires, a small section of the European Jewish bourgeoisie began to subscribe to the idea that anti-Semitism was not a result of historical developments, but an inevitable occurrence as long as Jews lived among non-Jews. So yeah, there is a founding father of the Zionists, Theodor Herzl, understood that the world was already craved up by competing colonial powers, etc. And then, yeah, according to Slam, in May 1948, a total number of Arab troops, both regular and irregular, operating in the Palestine theater was under 25,000, whereas the Israel Defense Force, IDF, fielded over 35,000 troops. By mid-July, Israel's troops numbered 65,000, increasing to 69,000 by December 48. In addition, the Zionist forces were better trained and disciplined than the Arab forces, as Shlaim notes. The final outcome of the war was therefore not a miracle, but a faithful reflection of the underlying military balance in the Palestinian theater. That's the information that I collected. So the fact is that the military forces of the Israel is actually bigger and way better trained than the Arabs' military forces. Okay, Mr. Anga, any other opinion?
Thanks, Yusuf. Yeah, I wanted to add more about this facts. Yeah, because since the beginning, Israel is actually an interest projects in the Middle East, encouraged and pushed by major interest powers, particularly the British in the beginning, before 1945, because Palestine was previously occupied by the British, right, after the fall of Ottoman Empire in 1920s, and then the British took over. So after the World War II, the British, around World War II, the British lost their control and their power over a Palestinian area. So they left the area, right? So in order for them to keep occupying the place of Palestinians, so they established the state of Israel to give them control and power in the Middle East, because there's like a big interest there, particularly around the issues of oils, etc. However, once the British decreased their influence there, another major interest power, which is the US, who won the World War II, dominating the world at the time, also supported the establishment of the Israel in 1948, and kept funding the state of Israel, particularly in the technological sectors, military operations, etc., etc. That's why since the beginning, actually, Israel is not in a defensive position, which was attacked by other nations. They're actually in a offensive offensive
side.
offensive positions, offensive side, which tried to invade other nations, not only Palestinian but also other countries. They had influenced the conflicts in the Middle East, like Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria. Many people in Australia say that Israel is another state of the US. Yeah, another state of the US. How many states does the US have? I think 30s, right? Around 30s.
Yeah.
And Israel is another state, which is located in the Middle East, because the US has big fundings, right, in the Israel, particularly in the military operations. because the US couldn't really influence the issues in the Middle East if there is no Israel. So the establishment of the Israel is for the sake of the US. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. The Israel since the beginning is not enough.
So
It's an imperialist country. It's an imperialist country.
yeah. So there is an opinion that said the Israel is actually part of the United States state. So maybe after Illinois, Indiana, and then Israel.
Yes.
That's a fun information, and then the perception of the people to make a fun of the conflict that are happening. Okay, guys, any other opinion or any other maybe fun stories about the Israel and the United States and then in the Palestine? Or maybe should we go to another slide? Okay, I think it's time to move to another slide. Okay, this is the fourth statement about Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. Oof, that's a big statement. I mean, most of the news that I've read, most of the information, most of the statement that are popped out in social media and popped out on my timeline stated that Israel is actually the only democracy country in the Middle East. The rest of the country in the Middle East mostly authoritarian because they have kings and then everything, and the narrative will always be like this. You can be, I'm sorry, gay or maybe LGBTQ plus community in the Israel without receiving any what is it called, any harm from people, any discrimination from other people because you are part of that community. And that's the narrative that has been running around in the media right now. And I want to know if there anyone who wants to give out their opinion or maybe, yeah, just speak up their point of view regarding this statement. Let's go, guys. Right button. Or maybe I have to point out again regarding this statement. Okay. Maybe Mr. Reski. Hello, Mr. Reski. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Mr. Reski.
Yeah.
Hello again. Actually, yeah. I want to know about what's your opinion regarding this statement.
In my opinion, I think, yeah, I agree with that statement. Israel
Okay.
is just democracy in the Middle East, but we know that from the news, Israel or sekut or his kutu like US, maybe or British has standard gender, yeah, or double standard, yeah. We know that from the news, and the fact is real. You know, from now, maybe the last year before, maybe 1, 2, or maybe the 10 years before, they talk about democracy, speak up about democracy, but now we just know, yeah, the democracy just propaganda from them, right? Yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for
That's it.
the statement and opinion about
Yeah.
the Israel is the only democratic country in the Middle East. Thank you, Mr. Reski. Any
Yeah.
other guys? Miss Farah. Hello, Miss Farah.
Hello.
You there? Do you
Yes.
mind if you speak up about your point of view regarding this statement?
Okay, so I already Googled about democracy country in the
Okay.
Middle East, and as we know that when we're talking about Middle East, we're not only talking about the area that which is in Asia, it's mostly in Asia, but North Africa also and Arab country, as we know, like Morocco, Egypt, and like the others too. And I think, like I said, like Morocco, Tunisia, and also if we're talking about like in Middle East, which place in Asia, we already know there is Kuwait and also Jordan, which are democracy. But about Israel, is Israel is democracy? Well, I don't think so because they still do the stuff that sounds like a fascism like that. So I don't think Israel is a democracy country in Middle East. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Farah. Any other opinion, guys? Okay, let's call out Miss Nurliza. Are you still there? Hello, Miss Nurliza. Miss Nurliza. Oh, maybe she has a problem with the connection. Miss Laila Turahmi. Hello. Miss Laila Turahmi. Are you there? No? Does anyone wants to speak up their opinion, or maybe you have a question about this statement? Or maybe you're asking, like, what's the criteria of being a democratic country? What is the indicators of being a democratic country, or some things like that, maybe?
Yeah, I have a question like you. What's the being of
Okay, Mr.
democratic
Reski.
country? Yes, sir, Mr. Yusuf. I have a question like you. What is the being of democratic country? Maybe based on what you know, or
Oh,
the
so
some
you're asking what is the
among
criteria of being a
yeah, what is
democratic country? Okay.
yeah,
Any other question?
okay, nothing.
Okay.
Yes, it.
Okay, thank you. So guys, Mr. Reski is asking about what is the indicators of what is the criteria that one country must fulfill in order to be called democratic country. Is there anyone who wants to give out their opinion regarding this question? Ms. Farah? Okay. Mr. Anga, let's go. What are your thoughts about this question?
Thanks for the opportunity given again. Yeah, I think Israel is a democratic country. What do you mean? But democracy for the particular people, particular group only. Particularly the Zionists. The Zionists.
For Jews only.
Not Jews, because Jews and Zionism are
Oh yeah.
are a different thing.
Okay.
Because many Jews also hate Zionists, right? As I said before, in the US and
Yeah,
America. So it's actually yeah, it is a democratic country for the Jewish people, for the Jewish group, which are like racist and colonizer. In our opinion, you know what? When you're living in Israel as a Palestinian, as an Arab, it's hard for you to access a lot of basic needs. For instance, in terms of the land, for example, if you want to own the land, it's hard for you. It's hard because they would prioritize the Zionists. If you're Arabs, if you're Asians, for instance, you can't get an easy access to own the land, because the basic idea of Zionism is that expanding the lands, invading the lands of the Palestinians. So as an Arab, so it's hard for you to get that, even in the elections, because this is a country best who which is established on the basis of Zionists, like Zionist ideas. So if you're not Zionist, you can't be a politician. You can't you can't be how to say, a leader, a political leader. So you must be Zionist, which they confidently say Jews, representing a Jewish people. So yeah, it's not a democratic country. It's really a myth. That's why when you say many Israels, there's like a viral video where they are split on the Christians, for example, and displaced many Muslims, lands, Palestinians especially in Israel, and also in the area of Palestine. So yeah, that's what I think about this. So, there's a question about like, what is the criteria of being a Democrat?
That's the question.
One of the obvious things is that everyone can get access. Everyone can be whatever they want. Everyone can build whatever they need, whatever they require in their life. However, in Israel, you can't get all the access unless you are a Zionist.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anga, for such an amazing information. So yeah, that's Mr. Reski about the question of what is the criteria of being a democratic country. What's underlined by Mr. Anga is actually, maybe if I conclude that, it is freedom, right? The freedom to have a proper life, the freedom for people to do what they want and to do what they purposely to do. And then that is the that is the criteria of being a democratic countries. And I don't think that Israel have done that, and I don't think that Israel deserves the title for the only democratic country in the Middle East. Okay, any other opinion? Or maybe we should move to the next slide. I think we do. Okay, this is the information that I've collected. And I am saying that Israel is not the only democratic countries in the Middle East. Because of these headlines, because of most of the news that are popped out in the internet about we know what they're doing to the people in Palestine. We know that they cut off the water and the electricity access for the people, which is that's far from applying the democracy in their country. And also there are also bombing hospitals. There are also killed children, which is actually banned by the international court. And then they even have like the undang-undang. They even have like the undang-undang about to not do the violence against children in the warfare and everything, etc. But this is something that made me feel certain to not calling Israel is the only democratic country in the Middle East. And also, based on the redflag.co, in 2015 and 2016, Israel enacted a further 7 laws that discriminate against Palestinian citizens and Palestinians living under Zionist occupation in East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza. And Adallah explained that these new laws undermine the most basic legal protection, rights, and freedoms, including the rights to vote and to be elected, to political expression, essential procedural safeguards for detainees, and to owner of property, which is not true. And yeah, the reality show it all. The reality said about the fact of whatever it is behind those laws. So guys, this is what made me feel certain and to not call Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, because one of the most important things a democratic country should apply and should give their community is the freedom, and Israel does not give that to all people, to general people, only Zionism only. And I think that's about the fourth statement, and we are going to move on to the next statement. Things are basically peaceful during the period of relative calm. As we all know, the conflict between the Israel and the Palestine has been happening for the past 75 years. And it's not every single day that we heard about Israel bombing and everything, but for the recent months, yes, we heard so much about it. But is that really true that things are peaceful there when or maybe before, even before the 7th October 2023 tragedy happening in the Israel and the Palestine, like before that, do you believe that they are in a peaceful condition during the periods of relative calm? Anyone who give out their opinion, who wants to state their opinion, let's go. Raise your hand, push the button. Okay, Miss Farah,
Okay.
the
Thank you,
floor is yours.
thank you so much for the opportunity. So about the fifth, things are basically peaceful during periods of relative calm. I don't think so. After what's happening, 1948, I don't think there's a peace time for Palestinian, because I have watched a video on YouTube about the circumstances there. I know it's so biased because it's from American Palestinian journalist, which is mostly like a show of what is happening in Palestine. But I think it's clearly show and can educate us as someone who's not lived there that there's no peaceful time during even when what we call relative calm situations. I mean, like Palestinians has no right what has no rights at all. Like there's so many checkpoints in the places, and it's like taking over the rights that people talking about out there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this statement. Any other opinion, guys, about this statement? Are things basically peaceful during the calm periods between the two countries? Or maybe you guys wanted to ask question about or regarding this statement? Or maybe I think I have to point out somebody to speak up their opinion. Miss Nurliza, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. I want to know what are your opinions about the fifth statements?
I suppose it's not, because that we know Israel make make the regulation for Palestinian who live in Jerusalem.
Mhm.
The men the men are below 50. Yeah, they cannot pray at Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Mhm.
And if the men who below 50, they come to Al-Aqsa, they will they will they will arrest by the police
Mhm.
of Israel. And because of many video that we show on the internet, um many many things that we can see is not peaceful for, especially for Palestinian there. Yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the opinion, Ms. Nurliza. Any other? Any other people who wants to participate to give out their opinion or maybe asking some question regarding the statement? Or maybe we should go to another slide. Okay, these are the realities that are happening there. Well, as we can see here, the Tel Aviv, one of the famous cities in the Israel, who was most likely like looking a peaceful and prosperous Mediterranean beach city, which is it is, but less than an hour drive away from the Tel Aviv are Palestinian towns in the West Bank, where the conflict is absolutely palpable, even in the periods of calm. In Gaza, the blockade has driven unemployment as high as 40%, made legal imports or exports next to impossible, and even they cut off fishermen's, once a big industry there in Gaza. They cut off the people from their fish. And in the West Bank, beyond the daily humiliations of Israeli military checkpoints, the occupations has severely constricted movement and trade. The stifled economy is the easiest thing to measure, but many other aspects of Palestinian life suffer as well. And yeah, as what Ms. Nurliza has stated, there are many people arrested, many Palestinians are arrested by the military, and then lots of Palestinian doing the march, or maybe they do the demonstrations. And yeah, they basically angry with what the Israeli have done to them. And Mr. Anga, any opinion about this?
Yeah, thanks. I just want to highlight one important point. Yeah, I mean, these points are very true. I really agree with this point. And I just want to highlight why this has been happening, why the operations of Palestinians by the Israel like has been happening for 75 years. One of the obvious thing is the idea of the establishment of Israel, which is the Zionism. Basically, Zionism is the idea of colonialism, the colonialist ideas. So the idea of Zionism is that they wanted to establish the state in a Palestinian lands, and they want to displace like as many Palestinians as possible, as what had happened in the past when the establishment of Israel in 1948. They were actually displacing like more than 7 100,000 Palestinians, right, out of their lands, and there are many Palestinian refugees since that time. Even in their basic constitutions, it clearly states that the Israel, in Palestinians. So it's actually for the it's how do you say it? It's the land. Okay, they said this in their basic constitutions. Okay, in Palestinian areas. So in Palestine, so this is actually the land without a people, and for the people without the land. So they clearly stated this in their constitutions. So Israel is actually empty. Sorry, Palestine is an empty land. They said clearly in their basic constitutions for the land without the people, and for the people without land. So the people without land means the Jews, in the Europe. So they stated that, which is like very racist and like very colonialist idea. So that's the basic idea that makes this situation keeps happening again and again.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the information. Any other opinion about this reality that, yeah, it actually is not the same with what we see, because we oftenly saw the news about the situation there when it's escalated, when there is a big conflict or big things happening, like back in the October 7th this year. Yeah, but before that, or maybe during those period with no conflict or with no serious tragedy, they cannot live in peace in Gaza, or maybe in any other, in any other places in between those countries. Okay, maybe we are going to move to the next slide. Okay, the sixth statement: the US could force Israel to end the conflict if they wanted. Anyone who want to give opinion about this? So basically, as we all know, we know that the US is actually in the back of Israel, and they've been supporting the Israel. They've been doing, or maybe stating, the statement that pro-Israel. And yeah, there is something that the statement that said the US could force Israel to end the conflict if they wanted. Anyone? Or maybe, oh yeah, it's 9:52. We almost done. I think we got to speed up because of the time, unfortunately. Okay, here's what I collected. Actually, those things that I said is actually the misconceptions about the Israel and the US relations. The first misconception is actually the onus for this conflict and its perpetuation is entirely 100% on Israel. And the second one is the idea that the US is so unflinchingly pro-Israel and such a crucial Israeli ally that it is the de facto sponsor of the conflict and thus could end the conflict by simply withdrawing its support from Israel. But the fact it is not that easy, guys, because there are several explanations. The first one is Israel was already engaged in the conflict before it enjoyed so much the US support. Yeah, the US support is actually did not end right away when they started the conflict. And then the second one is the US and the Israel since 1973 are not nearly as close as you might think. They bicker frequently and spy on one another, mostly on the Bill Clinton or maybe the Obama reign of the presidents. And then, the US does provide Israel with an awful lot of military, financial, and diplomatic support, which is obvious, and we all know it. And then, yeah, the last the facts is the US has overtly pressured Israel on the conflict, as Obama did during his first term. As what I said, that it is not that easy to make, or maybe to end this conflict between the two countries, because it was not all over control can be controlled by the US, or maybe, and the conflict is happening, it's not only because Israel, because it is also uh the Palestinian groups such as Hamas, they contributed to this conflict, and then the rest, everything that are happening between those countries. Okay, the next is the resolutions. There is uh, one concept of resolution that has been established by the people, or maybe the countries around the world, to try to end this conflict. And for example, we have here the head country of the Israel and the head country of the Palestine. They did the conference together in order to establish the two-state resolution conflict in the Oslo in Norway in the year of 1990s. And there are so many countries nowadays that has been shouting to let's establish the two-state resolution for these countries, but it's not that easy, because since the 1990s, the also conference, it is most likely did not established very well this concept, the two-state resolution. And then nowadays there is also people and then countries who give out their opinion about how about the one-state resolutions to end this conflict. And recently, Joko Widodo, our president, has stated to not agree to these resolutions because it is unfair to do and to end the conflict between those countries. And he encouraged, and he's spoke up in the Oki conference, the Oki conference, about we should gather the powerful countries, or maybe the influence serves countries such as the US and everything that have more power to, in order to establish and to make the two-state resolution happen. And yeah, what do you guys think about this, about the resolutions to end this conflict between both countries? Miss Farah? Oh, Mr. Anga, let's go.
Oh, other people want to speak up first? It's fine.
No, it's you first who raised the button, so yeah, the floor is yours.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this is an interesting point to discuss actually, because what's gonna happen next, right, after we resolve this conflict? Two-state solutions or one-state solutions? Well, many countries, including the US, and also our leaders in Indonesia, support the two-state solution. For me, the two-state solution is hard to achieve because, and also I also don't disagree with the solutions, to be honest, because when we agree with the solution, we agree with the establishment of the Israel, right? Because as I said, Israel is an imperialist project in the Middle East, which wanna keep expanding their areas, particularly in the territory of Palestine. So it's hard to achieve because they also don't comply with the Oslo Accord, which has divided the land of Palestinians and also the Israel. But now they still keep invading, expanding their lands in the state of Palestine. If, even though the accord, which is also accord, has been agreed like in the past. And if we also agree with the solutions, we acknowledge the smaller lands of Palestinians, because you know what, as Yusuf has shown, the state of Palestinian is actually bigger than the Israel, but now
Yeah.
it's like war. It's much smaller and smaller. Only in Gaza and in some parts of West Bank,
The West
it's
Bank.
actually pretty
Yeah.
small. And yeah, if we agree with the solution, we actually acknowledge the small lands of Palestinians, which have been taken over by the Israelis. And one-state solutions. When we're talking about this, uh, actually, I'm lean to this solution, but I agree. I somewhat disagree as well in the solutions. I agree because this solution will unify the state of uh, Palestine and Israel, right? As a democratic country, not a country on the basis of religion. So in this one-state solution, so the country, so the people, yeah, Jews, Muslims, Christians, they all can live with the same right, right? Like, including like basic needs, freedom, etc., etc. Yeah, but one solution is much better in my opinion, but it's hard to achieve because each state has their own egos, has their own interests to establish this solution. But yeah, it's a complicated discussion topic, but but at the end of the day, it will come back to the Palestinians and the people in Israel to decide what they want.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Anga. And this, there is another hand, Kobe Education 41.
I guess it would be better for us to have like three-state resolution because, as has been stated by Mr. Anga before, if like two-state resolution, meaning that we need to admit the Israel being a state, but somehow we need to be more pragmatic. Okay, why I say that a two-state is not enough? Three-state means that there should be an interventions from the most how to say developed or powerful country, which is here is America. I don't know whether it's America, is China or Russia, but there should be an interventions that would be the. I know that the duty of the delivery is to mean it. Otherwise, then all will be meaningless because so far somehow become Israel. If it is not included in a team, I believe that the two-state resolution will be meaningless and never feasible at the very beginning. Because at the same time, even though the land of Palestine is being occupied, even though we need to admit the existence of Israel as a state, even though they have been betrayed the Oslo laws or regulations, but what we need right now is to stabilize, and this is more urgent than whatsoever reasons that has been stated before. So I guess three-state resolution should be included in this slide because otherwise two-state resolutions for now is still a little bit hard to do. I don't also cannot convince you that the state resolution. I don't know. I just want to uh, genocide Israel, but I couldn't. Okay, I think that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that additional point to add a three-state resolution. And I think yeah, before we end the discussion, I have another slide about the conclusion. And I want one of you guys, or maybe yeah, although it is past 10 p.m., but I want the audience that we have to state their own conclusion regarding uh, um, this conflict and everything that has been explained during our discussion. And I want to point out uh, um, Miss Vera.
I'm sorry.
Hello, Miss Vera.
I'm sorry, my connection's kind of bad because the voice is choppy. Yeah, same. It's also happened to me. But I can clearly like take the
Hello,
point.
guys. Is my
Yeah,
voice clear enough, or maybe my connection?
it's clear right now.
Oops, where is he? I think he might leave for a while, and I'll be back immediately. I can take over for a second. Uh, who's gonna convey their conclusions? Oh, he's back. He's back.
Hello, guys.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, my connection is so bad. And yeah,
it's fine.
I want to continue. I want each and every one of the audience in this room to state their conclusion, their own conclusion. Start with Miss Farah,
Okay,
maybe.
thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so I would like to say thank you for your presentations and also showing us about the PowerPoint that help us more understand about the situations in Palestine. And also, I think if I can include and like take conclusions from our discussion is more like I know it's hard to find a solutions between something like a genocide that being done by Israel, but I think international law need to be more like strict about what they do. So it's really important to voice up about what we thought it is right. So and we can clearly find a clear solution for them. I bet a lot of people there wanted a peace, and I have watched a video about both of the side sitting together talking about the stuff, and they all wanted peace. No one want a war, no one want a crime, no one want something special like that. So let's just voice up more about the right things that we need to do. I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Farah, for the conclusion. Next up, Miss Nurliza, are you there?
Yes.
I want to know what's your opinion about the conclusion. Yeah.
Right. Actually, I don't want to choose what is the best resolution, because in accordance Mr. Angga said before, this is so complicated. So the conclusion is Israel have broken their promise, because we know between Israel and Palestine that facilitated by UN, they already made many agreement about there, but Israel always broke their promise and regulation about democracy. So yeah, my conclusion, yeah, I hope one day Palestine they get their life, their dreams, they're free. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. That's nice from you, Miss Nurliza. Lastly, Miss Laila Turahmi, hello, are you there? Hello, Miss Laila Turahmi. Miss Laila Turahmi. Okay, I think there's a problem with the connection. Okay, guys, thank you so much for participating. Even though the topic is kind of heavy and it's terrified me in the beginning, but it is all finished. And yeah, I think I just want to thank everyone who participating. Mr. Angga, do you want to conclude our discussion?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I know what's Mr. Angga thinking, so I didn't ask it in the beginning. And yeah, I think it. I thank everybody who has participating in this discussion today, and I want to thank other participant who has left first, and then I want to say a big thanks to Mr. Angga who pointing me to be the moderator and who helped me a lot along the way. Yeah, I think that's it from me. Thank you so much, and see you in another opportunity. Thank you.
See you.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Yusuf, for sharing our discussions tonight. This is very interesting because the issue is very recent, very hot, and being discussed by a lot of people at the moment. And you have brought this interesting and also important topic to discuss to to move our attention again to this like crucial issue happening in our time. And thank you so much for that. And yeah, I just wanted to ask that as a this actually my conclusion that I wanna convey, because as a people as a country that has been colonized in the past, it's actually our obligation as well to avoid like other people's fight to resist to free from oppressions, to free from colonialism, especially in the area of Palestine over there. Well, thank you so much again, Yusuf, and also I want to thank everyone for coming to these sessions and share their thoughts, opinions, feelings about these ongoing issues happening in Palestine there. So before we end, as always, we're gonna take a group photo. So guys, please share your beautiful and handsome face before we end the session. So everyone, can you please share your videos? So we are gonna take a photo before we close. Hi, Kobe Education.
Hello, Mr. Sunshine.
For one,
Hello.
AKA Sunshine.
Okay. Okay, let's load the camera.
All right, it's fine, Vera. Thank you for your confirmation. Nuriza, can you turn on your camera? Leila too. Okay, otherwise I will take a photo soon.
Show us your pretty face, guys.
All right, I think there's only three of us that I can share their face. All right, on a count of three, 1, 2, 3. Another pose. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
everyone for
everybody.
coming to the discussions. Well, before we end, as always, let's say our jargon. When I say auto community, you guys should say yesterday, we said tomorrow. All right, auto
Okay.
community.
Yesterday,
Yesterday,
we said tomorrow.
tomorrow.
All right, thank you so much,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank
See you
you
next
Thank you,
so much.
time.
everyone.
So
See
much.
ya. See ya.
Come see ya.